Hello everyone, this is Nillufary. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. In this video I'm going to discuss yet another response from the European Ombudsman regarding my complaints, another complaint which I addressed to this organization over 2 months ago. So but before I bring it up and read their response for you, I'm going to give you a brief explanation about my situation again. As you can see, I'm shooting this from inside my shelter, which is located in front of the United Nations Refugee Agency UNHCR's office. I'm here since March 21st, 2017. I'm here because due to total lack of protection in Greece, and also because of my illegal deportation from Sweden that took place in September 2015. They said my deportation was on the grounds of Dublin regulations, even though Greece was not abiding by those regulations at the time. So my deportation was illegal. So I'm here at the doorsteps of the United Nations Refugee Agency asking the organization's assistance for my resettlement in another country outside of this continent, as clearly due to Dublin regulations I won't be able to seek asylum or protection in the European Union any longer. So outside of the European Union, so in Canada, US or Australia, or for my case to be referred to another UNHCR's office inside or outside of Europe, where the UNHCR office that there could properly respond to this humanitarian tragedy. As you can see from so many videos I have published on my Facebook page and YouTube channel, they here in front of the United Nations, they have imposed a restraining order. So basically I cannot enter UNHCR's office, and if I cannot enter, I cannot register with this organization, and therefore I don't know so far if I have a case with this organization or not. So every time I try to reach this organization, they close the doors and they call the police, and I'm in detention at the police stations, or I'm appearing before the court, or I'm in prison. There is no help from any of the NGOs, no legal aid or no any kind of support from any of these organizations, despite reaching out to all of them on countless occasions via email or by other means. So the total negligence of my case by the authorities here compelled me to approach the Greek Ombudsman and ask them for their assistance, which is why over the past 2 years I have submitted many complaints to this organization, but so far nothing has came out as a result of my complaints to this organization. And additionally, the European Commission and the European Parliament were and are aware of my case since before my announcement of my hunger strike, and after that. Yet there has been no practical or no effective solution to my situation and my case, and which is why I also submitted several complaints as well to the European Ombudsman over past year. So European Ombudsman, in their responses over past year, they encouraged me to try to resolve my case through the European Parliament and through the Greek Ombudsman, even though the European Ombudsman were already provided with sufficient evidence and documentation that to prove that the European Parliament and the European Commission were aware of my case prior to submitting my complaint to their organization. Yet they somehow tended to ignore all those documentation, and yet encouraged me to try and resolve the matter with them. This is why last year I submitted a complaint, a petition, let's say, to the European Parliament, to the Petition Committee of the European Parliament, a big dossier, and cover letter describing the whole situation in details, providing them with the documents, all the documents relevant to my case, documents of my deportation, documents of my registration with the UNHCR's office in Iraq, documents of my registration with the asylum authorities here, identification documents, documents of my detention with the police at the police stations, or my detention at the Amygdaliza pre-removal detention facility, or documents of my imprisonment in several prison facilities, documents of my correspondence with the Canadian, US and Australian authorities, documents of my correspondence with the Swedish Migration Agency. All they have had all those documents, and yet after nearly 7 months they send me a reply, and they encouraged me to continue to try to resolve this matter through the Greek Ombudsman. And they also said that they have contacted the European Commission and another committee in the European Parliament, Civil Liberty and Justice Committee in the European Parliament, to become aware of my case and to do something about it, I guess. But so far still my situation is continuous on a daily basis, humiliation and torture. My situation in my shelter, daily degradation, humiliation and torture. There is nothing in my shelter, no water, no electricity, nothing. So my life is on hold for nearly 6 years. They hindered my life for nearly 6 years just for trying. I was just seeking asylum in this continent. If they don't want to grant me asylum, if there is no asylum in this continent, then apologize, compensate and let me go. That's all. Why they are making so many problems, shooting me from one office to another office, and they are doing this, playing with me in this vicious circle. As you can see again in the response I have gotten from the European Ombudsman. I'm going to discuss it and I'm going to read it for you, how they have responded. So after I got disappointed from the response I have gotten from the European Parliament, I had once again, compelled to address the European Ombudsman and ask them to intervene in resolving my issue. After several weeks, they send a response to my recent complaint, and which is here. I'm going to read it for you. In their response, in their recent response, this time they encouraged me to approach some organizations and ask them for legal aid. This is crazy. Why are these people doing this? I have already shown them sufficient evidence. I have already provided and sent them sufficient evidence that none of these organizations are offering any assistance to my case. I'm here in front of the UNHCR's office, the main agency which is responsible for refugees, for 3 years. 3 years, all of these organizations, all of them, they are coming here regularly on a weekly basis. They have meetings here, passing by in front of my shelter. They see my shelter here. Now if you try, for instance, and send an email or communicate with one of these organizations, ask about my case, all of them might even deny my existence, my case here in front of the UNHCR's office. They would say they are not aware of my case. That's what they would say. Covering up my case, my situation. Even as part of this cover-up, strategy, they even confiscated my phones. Police stole one of my phones, confiscated my other phone, broke my other phones. They cut my internet connection here. As you can also see, there is no electricity here in front of in my shelter. I have daily issues even for using toilet. This is hell. They have created literally hell for me, and I'm suffering like no one has ever suffered on a daily basis for so many years. If there is no why, If there is no asylum here, if there is they don't want to grant me protection or asylum, fine, okay, keep the continent to yourself and grant me a safe passage and let me go. Sell me a safe passage and let me go. I need to find asylum and protection, and I need to return to normal life. I need to make use of my life. I need to be in progress. Not they have hindered my life. They have taken everything from me. They have taken all my savings, and I am repeating this story over and over again, and there is nothing. There is nothing, which is in itself is torture. So I'm going to read the European Ombudsman's response here. Their letter was sent via email, which is 2 pages. The European Ombudsman, Unit 1, Inquiries and ICT, Mr. Anwar Nillufary, Galadar 2000 gmail.com, Strasbourg, 16th March 2020. Complaint number 14/20/2019 GN. I don't know why they say complaint 2019, because I sent it to them in 2020. So reply, subject, reply to your further correspondence regarding the above complaint. Dear Mr. Nillufary, I am replying to your correspondence of January 29th 2020. Okay, here is a response to my recent email, a reference to my recent email. The Ombudsman has asked me to reply to you on her behalf. As we have already informed you in our previous correspondence, the Ombudsman's mandate is limited to addressing issues of administration in the activities of the European Union institutions and bodies. This is according to Article 228 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union. The Ombudsman may not deal with other complaints, such as complaints against EU member states and their authorities. This is a competence of national ombudsman. That means I have to resolve it with the Greek ombudsman. The matters you refer to need to be addressed to the member state level with relevant national authorities. Therefore, we are sending you below several contacts you might find helpful in seeking advice and legal assistance. So now here there are the links, then the names of the organizations they are referring me to. First one is the Greek Council for Refugees with a link to their website. The second one is ETIMA with a link to their website. The third one is Metadresi with a link to their website. Metadresi, which to the extent of my knowledge they don't even provide legal aid to people. They are mostly dealing with the interpreting and translation services. Fourth one is Equal Rights Beyond Borders, which this one was new to me, and I addressed them after I have received this letter from the European Ombudsman. And the fifth one is Legal Center Lesbos, which is basically for the people who are trapped on Lesbos. But even with that in mind, I also sent them a letter, an email. I'm going to publish all these letters on my Facebook page. And the last one here, the Hellenic League for Human Rights, and more. So these were the list of the organizations they have referred me to, and now here they have closing their letter like this. Moreover, you could consider contacting the Greek National Ombudsman again. Moreover, you could consider contacting the Greek National Ombudsman again. You hope so. this is an acknowledgement that they are aware that I have communicated with the Greek Ombudsman, so which is good. We hope that you will find the information helpful, and yours sincerely, Marta Hirst Zimbritska, and this is a difficult name, head of the inquiries and ICT Unit 1. So this was the response from the European Ombudsman. Immediately after that, I have also addressed all these organizations. I'm going to publish all the letters on my Facebook page if you wish to see those letters for yourself. So, and I'm hereby once again reaching out to the international community, to the concerned individuals, human rights institutions and organizations. Please, I need your help and support in submitting, in filing a lawsuit against this authoritarian state, I would say, the Greek state and the United Nations Refugee Agency. I need to submit a lawsuit to the European Court of Human Rights, and I need your help and support. I have nothing left. This continent and these people and this European Union, they have taken more from me than they ever have the power to give back, and now, as it seems, they even want to take my life and cover it up. And I will do all I can to prevent this from happening, and I really need your help and support on these regards. Please share these videos with whomever you can. Please let everybody knows about this case. Tell them to help if they can. Tell them to contact human rights organizations, because I have done it many times and there is nothing, and I can't do this anymore. I've been tormented, I've been traumatized. I fear for my life, my safety, my well-being. I can't deal with this matter anymore. It's been 6 years, 6 hellish years just for seeking asylum. If there is no asylum in this continent, apologize and compensate me for the amount of irreparable and immeasurable damages they inflicted on my life. Grant me or sell me a safe passage to a country of asylum and let me go. That's all. They have no rights to play with my life like this. They have no rights to hinder my life like this. They have no rights to attack my character like this. They have no rights to criminalize my case over trying to find a legal solution for my life, for my situation. And I really need your help and support. Please do consider helping out. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.